Hey guys, Afshin again, and welcome back to another Vex Onshape tutorial. Today we're going to be going over some of the key design tips for building a clean, high quality drivetrain, kind of like this. And these fundamentals will help you not only for this season, but also for future drivetrains that you make for other games. And if you want to learn how to actually use these Onshape tools up here and how to design robots like these, check out the playlist on the top right. But anyways, let's get straight to the video. Okay, so for this example, what we have here is a 55-watt drivetrain with 450 2.75 based on the general drivetrain that most people are running this season, with two high strength shaft braces and L channel end caps, and I'll be explaining all those in just a second. So first, to start with the 55-watt drivetrain. So for the 55-watt drivetrain, we use a stack 5.5, simply because that's what we found was easiest for putting this gear. There's also other versions with like a vertical 5.5, but we found that we wanted to do this one because you could also fit an Odon pod over here. By the way, check out the Odon pod video on the top right, but you can fit an Odon pod right here, so it's really nice for making keeping space. But anyways, when doing that, what you want to do is you want to have your motor connected to a 36 tooth, and then you have your, holy smokes, I'm blinking. Then you have your you have a 12 tooth and a 36 tooth on the same shaft, and that 12 tooth connects to the motor 36 tooth, and the 36 tooth on the shaft connects to everything else. And this will essentially make this 5.5 watt motor as fast as the 600 RPM motors, because this 5.5 watt motor runs at 200 RPM, while you want these ones to have these 11 watt motors to have blue cartridges, so they run on 600 RPM, rotations per minute. So to get them on the same size, same speed, you have to use this funky gear ratio over here. But if you work with it, it's not that bad. But anyways, going on to another major thing, screw joints. So if you guys haven't used screw joints before, they're essentially where you utilize things like this. You utilize this piece, or you could use a 0.25 OD, like this 0.5 spacer, or just the thinner 0.5 spacers, because that'll fit in there and it'll let the wheel spin. And using those, and then like if you apply a little grease, that'll help with your friction a lot. So that's something you can do to keep your friction down, which will make your autons a little bit more accurate, easier to tune, and just everything generally better. Your drivetrain will run a little faster, it'll overheat less, so it's really nice to do. Anyways, next thing I want to mention is the use of, here, I'm gonna hide that gear, is the use of these. So over here, I intended to use a hex, not a hex shaft. Yeah, what is it? Wait, a standoff. So this one's a post standoff bearing. Wait, let me check that real fast. Make sure I'm not spreading some misinformation. So this one's one post standoff retainer with bearing flat. So over here, I intended to use the hex version of that. So instead of fitting standoff, it would fit a hex. I can show you guys that real fast. Hex. Actually, let me just copy paste that. If it'll let me. Will it let me? Okay, now. Hex, vex, standoff with bearing flat. Yeah, these things. But they're really nice because then you have less screw that you have to use, and you can fit a nut inside them, as it shows here. So it you have, since your screw is a little bit less long, it's less, like, you have less weight, and then also you don't have to worry about it loosening as much because this holds the nut in place. So, but either way, it shouldn't loosen if you have a nut lock. But yeah, that's always nice to use. And then also you only have to use one screw rather than two, just because of the way it's designed. So I think it's really, really nice. On to the next thing, end caps. So for end caps, it's really nice. So I like using C channel, L channel end caps. I know there's other people who use U channel end caps, and I know U channel end caps are nice if it's like straight in the back. You can use 3 wide end caps. I think I used a 3 wide end cap last year. And then you could also use like standoff shaft collar. No, sorry, shaft collar, standoff shaft collar to go across. I think I also used that last year, and that's pretty nice. So any of those options are pretty good, but I recommend having some type of end cap on both sides. Not only because it helps protect your wheels, so if anything bashes into your wheels, it won't get these Omni wheel rollers to fall off, because the new Omni wheel rollers, they tend to fall off a lot, so it's nice to try to protect them, but also to act as an aligner and funnel, because say we're aligning to a goal, this, if it hits over here, it will help align it in this way, while if this was gone, it would just get stuck in there if I didn't have that brace there. But yeah, it would just get stuck in there. And then same thing for the pins and cups. If a pin and cup hits there, it will just get funneled automatically into here. Another thing to note is the width of your drivetrain. Typically, you don't want the width of your drivetrain to be too big. I know I have this one as girthier, pretty girthy. So like this is 14 inches, so 28 holes. Typically, you don't want to get more than 30 holes or about 15 inches wide. You generally don't need to. Like for example, right now, I'm already fitting, with this drivetrain, we're fitting an Odon pod this way and an Odon pod this way. So you should have enough space with just 28 holes if you do it right. Next thing, bracing. So when it comes to bracing, you always want at least 2 pieces of bracing that go all the way across the drivetrain. So like for example, in this scenario, we have 2 high strength shafts. Yeah, we have 2 high strength shafts that go across the whole bot, and you want these 2, if you only have 2, you want these 2 to be relatively on the opposite sides of your bot, and this will kind of just help hold your bot together. Also, if you want, it's pretty nice to have your bracings on like the bottom and top rather than just the bottom. In this scenario, we have another brace that goes across the top, so we don't have to worry about that. But when creating a drivetrain, it's important to think about how you brace it, because if you only have, say, one brace that goes all the way across, then that could leave you in a tough spot and your drivetrain could actually split, which wouldn't be very, very fun. So it's nice to brace, and keep in mind, you don't need to brace with just the high strength shafts. You can use C channels as well. I've heard of people using L channels. I highly don't recommend it. I don't know how well those work, to be honest, and I know L channels bend easy, so I would recommend sticking to high strength shafts and C channels. But other than that, I think that's every main detail that you want to think about when having a drivetrain. So happy building, guys. Hope you guys had fun in the video. If you guys learned something, let me know down in the comments, and we'll see you guys next time. Have fun and see you guys.